Hello all you Ford Maverick fans, I'm Mr. Gibson Guy and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be having a discussion about something that is not a thing right now but may be becoming a thing, and that is the subject of the Ford Maverick. Should they make a fully electric version of it? And we're going to be looking at, I've been doing research, we're going to be reading a couple of articles here on the subject and discussing the whole thing. We've had discussions back and forth. I've had quite a few videos on the Maverick. I have a Maverick myself, and it is not a hybrid, it is an EcoBoost, regular, let's see, not normally aspirated. It's a turbocharged engine, and it is not the hybrid. And we have the discussion back and forth of the EcoBoost versus hybrid, EcoBoost hybrid people, and we kind of seems to be about split right down the middle. People that prefer the regular gas engine or the hybrid engine mixed with the electric motor, but we're going to be looking at that today, and I'm going to look at a couple of articles and read you from these as we go through different views of that. And one thing I can say, because I date way back, and reading the automotive press, whether it was now or 50 years ago or 75 years ago, well, I haven't been around that long, but a long time ago, is that automotive press has always been commercialized, meaning that the people who are writing the articles tend to write articles that the people that buy their advertisements would find favorable. Like an article like this is going to be somebody who gets some advertising budget from Ford. So they're going to be kind of putting a rosy picture on it, and we can see some things like that, and even maybe some deceptions about certain things. But let's just go ahead and get started here. Don't want to cover the subject. Why Ford should electrify the Maverick ASAP. And then we have this incomplete sentence. The Maverick can become one of the most efficient electric pickup trucks, but Ford needs to electrify it at the earliest. And there's no more sentence, it just ends there. At the earliest moment, I don't know, but I'll let you figure that out. All right, electric vehicles are becoming increasingly popular as governments are implementing strict rules on emissions and internal combustion vehicles, and more people are switching over to EVs. In many cases, EVs seem like a good alternative, but in others, they may be even more damaging to the environment and inconvenient. For example, big trucks don't make much sense as EVs, as they use huge batteries that do not last long due to poor aerodynamics and the sheer weight of the vehicle. This is both annoying for the customer, for the owners, and damaging to the environment, as these specific vehicles need a lot of resources to be made. However, electric trucks in the form of compact vehicles, like the Ford Maverick, make a lot of sense, and here's why. All right, so these people are on Ford's side here, and they're pro-EV, and they're still having problems encouraging them. They have to stretch. Let's see here. The dawn of the all-electric pickup and why it matters. What's the deal with the Ford Maverick? The Ford Maverick pickup truck is a vehicle that has made the compact truck segment famous. It was introduced in 2001 and it has combined the efficiency and comfort of a crossover with the usability of a truck. It is the perfect vehicle for people who need a truck but don't necessarily require the full capabilities of a larger, more expensive, and less efficient pickup truck. It is based on a unibody platform, this is underlined, which means that the body and frame are integral into a single structure, well welded together. This design allows for a lighter, safer, and more efficient vehicle that can still provide some of the utility of a pickup truck. Okay, yeah. The Maverick pickup is currently available with a hybrid powertrain that combines a 2.5-liter four-cylinder engine with an electric motor. The total output is a respectable 191 horsepower. And they're not going to mention directly the EcoBoost here, although they're going to give some numbers that come from the EcoBoost, not from the hybrid, but they'll make you think like it's from the hybrid. So let's see, the most important numbers here, we'll get to the reason later, are its towing capacity of up to 4,000 pounds and its payload capacity of up to 1,500 pounds. A spacious interior with seating for up to 5 passengers, incorrect, up to 4 passengers and a driver, if one of the passengers happens to be about this wide. And great bed features, not a great bed, it's only 4.5 foot, but great bed features such as an adjustable tailgate and built-in storage compartments. Whoop-de-doo, make the whole package more appealing. But it doesn't make up for the missing 18 inches of bed. Trust me, it's not. Okay, let's go, computer. Jump ahead. The reasons why full-size trucks don't work well as EVs yet. And wait till we get to the second article. That's going to really tell it. As we have briefly mentioned in the beginning, full-size electric pickup trucks. I'll go back down. I'll just skip that. Oh, how do we do this? Sorry, I got lost there. It is no secret that crossovers and SUVs are now dominating the car market. People love the space, comfort, and safety offered when compared to a normal sedan. However, we believe that a valid alternative is slowly emerging in the auto world. This is the type of vehicle that can be economical, relatively comfortable, capable, and can even function as a work vehicle. Of course, we're talking about the compact truck, and specifically the Ford Maverick with the addition of the Tremor package. Oh, you can't get it in a hybrid. It's not going to work with an EV. The Maverick is the smallest Ford truck and is the most versatile. Let's start with a quick overview of the Maverick. At first glance, it looks like a pickup truck, and design-wise, it certainly is. However, once you peel off the body and you find the structure of a normal passenger vehicle or a crossover, this is the reason why the Maverick is so clever. It takes the normal unibody design of a crossover and adds utility by using a truck bed, a small truck bed. A telltale sign that this is a vehicle that doesn't use the normal ladder frame is the fact that the bed and cabin are connected. On a normal truck, the bed is a separate unit from the cabin, as the frames tend to flex under lateral loads. As you would expect, the interior of the Maverick is nowhere near as large as that of an F-150, but it certainly can carry 4 people with relative comfort. There's the right numbers. As far as power goes, buyers get a hybrid or 4-cylinder turbo with 250 horsepower. So on-road performance is very similar to that of a crossover. Better than a truck. Ford has upped the ante with the Maverick Tremor. They just stuck this in here. Tremor, in other words, how to pay twice as much money. Tremor to Ford is another way of saying here is more off-road worthy version of the specific model of truck. It is an option found on many pickup trucks of the brand, and it has slowly trickled its way down to the Maverick. Now, since the Maverick is based on a normal crossover, you would expect the upgrade to be mostly superficial. At least this is what we were expecting, and we are glad to be proven wrong. The Tremor Maverick gets impressive upgrades, like a 1-inch lift suspension, coilover, shock absorbers that are better suited for off-roading, better approach angle and skid plate, tow hooks, trail control, upgraded half shafts, and best of all-wheel drive system that can be locked and a rear locker. Impressive stuff. In case you are wondering, the lockable all-wheel drive system basically locks the drivetrain into all-wheel drive instead of having it work as front-wheel drive system with the rear wheels kicking in whenever needed. The above upgrades are impressive for such vehicles, especially the rear locker. This little pickup will certainly be able to take you off-road, off the beaten path if you want to. Granted, it's no Bronco or Wrangler, but it will work perfectly for some mild exploring. Aside from the mechanical upgrades, you also get the Tremor stamping, Tremor orange accents, yay, and different interior seats with a Tremor logo and Tremor orange stitching. For the most part, the rest of the interior remains the same as the normal Maverick. This just keeps going. We went too far on this. But what they're ignoring is that all of these are only EcoBoost engines. You can't get any of this stuff on the Maverick hybrid. So they're kind of doing a bait and switch in how they're doing this article. Oh, look at all this stuff that you can do here. But the problem is, oh, that's where I missed right there. Problem is that it doesn't apply to the hybrids, and it's sure not going to apply to an all-electric one, which is going to have all those batteries and be really heavy. So, well, that's about all we can get from that one. Let's go to the other article there. All right, now they're trying to sell us on they need an all-electric Maverick, and they're talking about an all-electric Maverick that they can't even do with a hybrid, much less all-electric. So let's take another look. This is a Ford pickup, but it's an F-150. But it's I'll read you the title of this article. It says, "Man's hellish family trip with an electric truck is a warning to all about these vehicles." And here we go. We've discussed sporadically about electric cars and how they're a crock. It's a vanity project for car manufacturers because no one wants them. Ford only keeps production going because its gas-powered division makes enough profit to keep this operation going. The car company is losing billions on its push into electric vehicles, yet the greenies and environmentally conscious remain gung-ho about these cars, even though you must burn fossil fuels to charge them. Energy fairies do not dwell in the charging stations, folks. One man learned that going green is a crock the hard way, and I'll attempt to say his name. Dalbir Bala, a resident of Winnipeg, bought an electric Ford F-150 for $85,000 and was forced to abandon it after discovering it wasn't worth the cost. Moreover, it's not for working people who must spend an arm and a leg installing the charging station in their home. This individual spent around $130,000 all told on his green initiative, with the bonus of discovering that the fast charging stations only charge his batteries up to 90%. It's more expensive to recharge these vehicles than refueling a gas-powered car. Bala declared that electric cars were the biggest scam of modern time. And here's a quote from Fox Business News. He told Fox Business he needed the vehicle for his work, but also wanted something suitable for recreational activities, such as driving it to his cabin or going fishing. He also wanted an environmentally friendly vehicle, as owning one is, quote, responsible citizenship these days, unquote. But Bala was quickly hit with the reality of owning and operating an EV soon after the purchase. The vehicle compelled him to install 2 chargers, one at work and one at home, for $10,000. To accommodate the charger, he had to upgrade his home's electric panel for $6,000. Not long after the purchase, Bala got into a minor accident which he said required, quote, light assembly on the front bumper, unquote. Bala took the vehicle to a body shop and did not get it back for 6 months. And he's paying payments on $85,000. Wow. 6 months. He said no one from Ford answered his email or phone calls for help. The limitations of the EV truck became even more apparent when Bala embarked on a chaotic 1,400-mile road trip to Chicago. Now, isn't that 3,000 miles? 1,400, massive. That's not really a big trip, right? Fast charging stations, which only charge EVs up to 90%, cost more than gas for the same mileage. On the first family trip to Fargo, North Dakota, it took 2 hours and $56 to charge his vehicles from 10% to 90%. The charge was good for another 215 miles. On the second stop in Albertville, Minnesota, the free charger was faulty and the phone number on the charging station was of no help, he said. The family drove to another charging station in Elk River, Minnesota, but the charger was faulty there as well. The sheer helplessness was mind-boggling, Bala wrote in an online post. My kids and wife were really worried and stressed at this point. How did this 1,400-mile trip to Chicago end? The truck died. Bala got towed to a nearby Ford dealership where he rented a gas-powered car to finish the trek to the city. And of course, Ford says that geography and weather can impact driving range, so not ideal for winter travel or long distances. It's not a practical car, never was, never will be. Kill it before more people waste their hard-earned money on this nonsense. And I also did some other research here, and I found this. This is an interesting point. According to the AAA, American Automobile Associations, I guess, EVs, all electric vehicles, lose 12% on average of their range if the weather is cold. But that jumps to 41% of their range if you use the heater. It cuts your range almost in half if you have to drive on a cold day and you use your heater. No, it's only 12% if you just freeze and ride in a cold electric car. But if you want to stay warm, 41%. No, I live in Central Florida, Central Florida, so that doesn't bother me. I don't need a heater. But some people that live in other places better consider that. But not only that, something we can consider in Florida is that the heat, hot temperatures, about 90 degrees or above, what it does is that it makes the battery think that it's going all the time. And what that does is it degrades the battery's ability to hold a charge, to take a charge and to hold a charge, just from being in hot weather, because the battery acts like it's running if it's just parked somewhere and it's hot. If it's in 90 degrees or hotter temperature, which we just had a couple weeks of 90-degree temperature here in the month of August, it seems to have passed, but that means that your battery, instead of lasting 4 years or 5 years, might last 2 years or 3 years. And all electric batteries for all electric vehicles are not cheap, very expensive, and you're losing all your power if you have them in the cold, and you're losing your battery if you have it in hot temperatures. But if you're like 68 to 72, you're probably in the sweet zone. I don't know how often your weather is that temperature, but in there, you're good to go. and your batteries will last a long time. So that's just some of the information on the possibility of an electric Maverick. What do you think about it? I know some people are all for electric and some other people see through it, but leave me your comments below. I always read all the comments and I get interesting comments. If you like this information, or if you really didn't like it, give me a subscribe and you'll be notified of other videos when I post them. And other than that, until next time, this is Mr. Gibson Guy, and I'll talk to you later.